After the initial postural eval, especially the sagittal plane, checking the feet, what you want to do in dynamics, especially when you deal with athletes, is the overhead squat. It gives you a lot of information. The overhead squat will tell you how the position of the body, because of the length of the arms over peripheral stabilization is needed, even if it's just like with a little PVC pipe, it's going to help you a lot to diagnose. When I'm pressed by time, I take my PVC, check the side, I don't even check the eyes, go right away with overhead squat. It gives me a lot of data. Now, you're going to be facing this way. Always standardize it, bring it shoulder width. Like a little, mets tes mains un peu plus rapprochées si tu peux. And keep the wrist straight, and you will get a lot of data. You want to get the feet about shoulder width, les pieds parfait, feet, toes very straight. And tu regardes en avant de toi. You ask the athlete to go super slow. What you want to see as much as you can, juste avant, reste droit. You want to look at the line with the hip and here, because that's very important when he's going to pass 90 to check if there's any shift of his pelvis. And it's very important to have like a line in the pants, because that's the crucial point, especially when you deal with athletes like he does CrossFit, or you deal with football players that do a lot of Olympic weightlifting and hockey players. It's going to give you a lot of data on the 22 axis of the pelvis. Garde la tête droite and go super slow and go down, very slow, all the way down, 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 and back up. See, very good technique. As we could see, when he hit 90, there was a small shift to the right. It tells me that, parfait. It tells me that there are a couple of axes on his pelvis that a bit crooked. What do we do with that? Actually, doing the overhead squat with an off load helps a bit, like just a bar with maybe 2 kilograms, that's going to help. But also we have a series, it's called Eldoa, from Dr. Guy Voyer from France. It's one of the most powerful. What it creates, it's called uncoupling of the spine, and it works your brain at the same time. But before that, we want to warm up the pelvis at the same time before I'm going to show you how to, if there's any difference with the movement of the squat, of the overhead squat. Also, activating the foot will help you a lot to see if there's any movement that changed. You're going to sit on the floor. This is a very quick activation of the foot. You're going to cross one leg on top of this one. Bend the knee. Agrippe tes orteils comme ça. See, you want to bring your foot up. Mets tes doigts dans tes orteils. Put your hands inside. Cross each fingers inside each toes. That's going to help a lot. It's not easy at the beginning. Be patient. And he has big hands. And what you want to do, you want to create some rotation only with the ankle and the foot, but mainly with the toes. Very gently. Big movement back, forward. Amenez plus en flex. That's it. More in dorsiflexion, rotation, and pull on the toes a bit. You want to do 10, 12, and then switch side. Rotate the opposite side. Big movement. Very good. That's good. Now, next one, what you want to do, it's called a spring point, right under, very close. See, when I push, see his toes move? What you want to do, with your thumb, you want to press hard, mets ton pouce là. You want to press right in the spring, right under, like in between the first met and right here, and you press hard right in the spring, and you push like hard. You want to feel like your toes are going in, you keep them up, and you pump for about 15, 20 times. That's how it activates the spring effect also on the foot. The last one, you keep your toes like this. You take your knuckle and you go hard on your foot. But you want to grab the knuckle, pratique celle-là, and go sur la poignée bras. And you want to rub hard. You want to really get in, out with your knuckles. That's it. What happened is that you got a lot of vessels right there. It activates. You want to feel like you're breaking a bit of adhesion. You go easy. He's a big guy at the beginning, and it's also a good, you want to feel like if it's tickling a lot. That helps a lot to activate all the movements of the foot. You could use a gua sha if you want. You could use the back of a comb, but your knuckles does a very good job on it too. Maintenant, fais l'autre pied. Now start with the rotation. That's it. Just interlock. Mets tes doigts. That's it. That's easy. At the beginning, you'll get the use, and you want to grab your foot. It's for grabby. That's it. And big movement, creating. You're not moving the foot. It's your hand that's moving your foot. Do that a lot. Very, very good for circulation also of the lower limb. The saphenous veins joins under the foot too. It moves up and it goes right into the vena cava. Very good if you have varicose vein too. Creates a good circulation. You want to do 15, 20, and now you switch side again. Very good to warm up before you go and do sprints. Warm up before any lateral or acceleration sport. Great if you play hockey, figure skating, or skiing, because the fact you have boots will numb the foot a lot. That's good. Now go right. Mets ton pouce ici dans le spring. That's it. You're right there and you push. That's it. You want to feel like your toes are, say that's it. And you push kind of hard. You might feel a bit of a tension on it. You want to go kind of hard on it. That activates again the spring effect of the foot. That's it. You'll feel like your toes sometimes move, like when you take a chicken foot and you move. Now grab your knuckles. You pull toes back and gently. That's it. Keep it and go in. That's it. You don't have to go too hard. You brush it in the middle. That's it. On the side a bit. You may go one close to the toes. And you'll feel like if there's a bit of sensitive spot, you stay there. Even in your hand, it's very good. Before you do chin-ups, a lot of my baseball players, a lot of my grapplers will use that, their hands. Or again, a gua sha or a comb. The back of the comb does the job. But again, the knuckles does a very, very good job on it. Okay, standing up. Let's see if there's any difference in his overhead squat. Let me reposition. That's it, body straight. Check his shoulder, check his head, and check his feet. Vas-y, tranquillement. That's good. See, already just by activating the foot, there is less shift on his pelvis. I mean, for him, it's very positive and to activate. Then we're going to do, even if we would do more VOR again, like we did with the postural, it will help him a lot. But also, we're going to do what we call an L-DOA, just to activate, just to give him more room on his spine. Usually, the L-DOA is done with your feet up the wall. When I teach it, I will teach it myself. Now, you're going to lie on your back, mets tout sur le dos, because mets tout comme ça de côté. Ouais. Then feet up in the air. See, imagine your heels will be on the wall. I put my toes right under his sacrum. Pull your toes in. You want to be at 90 degrees. Pull your toes down. Start with your arms up over your chest, au-dessus de la poitrine. Fingers out as much as you can, shoulder width. Pull the toes, lock your knees. Now bring your arms back right to the floor gently. Stay there. You want to push as hard as you can away with your arms, and you want to push up with your heels. As you're squeezing your sacrum down at the same time. Your heels should feel very light on the wall. You want to feel like you're pushing up, keeping your chin down, and push hard with your arm. And you go. Press your lower back as hard as you can. Keep your chin back, flattening your spine. Very, very good. Keep the chin. Keep pressing. That's why I teach it like this, because I want to feel if there's not too much pressure. Push hard with your arms. Push hard with your arms. Push. That's good. That's good. Now push with your feet. Push with your feet. Pull the toes in. Push. Push harder with your arm. Push it. Keep the chin down. Breathe in and out. Breathe in nose, exhale mouth. Keep pushing very, very hard. Keep pushing. Pull the toes. Pull the toes. Push it harder. It has to be for a minute, not a whole day holding. It's really pushing hard. Push hard. Push harder. Keep the chin down. Push. Push with the heel. Pull the toes. And slowly release. Bend one knee at a time. On plie le genou. And you release. Very good before right after training and before bedtime. If there's one course as a trainer you should take, it's the Eldoa. Now they have the Eldoa method. It's taught all over the world now. Very good. My colleague, Dr. Guy Voyer, came up with that 40 years ago. I was one of the first physical prep to do it 30 years ago. I tell you, not one of my athletes are not doing it. I do it on myself. It gives you a lot of, it's like a therapy you're doing to your whole spine. This was targeting L5-S1 as a huge, huge impact on the pelvis. Now stand up. Let's recheck again the overhead squat to see if there's any difference in the movement and in the posture. Parfait. Garde le corps droit, barre la tête droite. That's it. And now go very slow on the way down. All the way. Very good. See, the action was a lot more smoother. There was a lot less shift even. See, the combination, it's not that long. The combination of activating the foot, we did VOR before a bit, L5-S1 will help the athlete to have a better balance in his pelvis, enabling them to use, like the overhead squat's going to be a lot more objective measurements. To improve the overhead squat, what you want to do, you want to create feedback. Now, to improve the overhead squat, a lot of people, they tend to, it's not a flexibility problem, it's a feedback problem and a body awareness. Because most people, they're able to squat all the way down sitting on something, but if you ask them to just squat, they're jammed there. It's not flexibility. If it was a flexibility or mobility thing, they would not be able to sit down. Basically, use the same principle to create movement by using feedback. This is, in our language in biomechanics, we called it transcendental reference. Basically, we can't argue, this is a rebounder, there's a pad there, the brain knows it, then it's going to be a lot easier for him to move. Now, have a seat first. That's it. For him, I start him low because already a squat. For some people, you would start at 90. Bring your arms up, overhead, lock, and just stand up. That's it. And slow on the way down eccentrically, look forward, always look up. That's it. Go down very slow until you touch. In this case, it's perfect. I would do about 6 reps. Go up again, shift, up, push the floor away. Very good. And also for him, keep your big toe up a bit. By keeping the big toe up, it's going to remove the foot a bit on the equation. It's going to put a lot more tension on the whole body, and it's going to shift his center of mass. Very good. Up and down. The key is to push the floor away as you're going down and as you're coming up. That's the key. As a warm-up before training, it's really, really effective to do that feedback. To progress him, what I would do, I would bring him his hands closer. The goal is to have the hands together, but not today. Keeping the bar behind him. That's going to be a lot harder. Now go up. That's perfect. And down very, very slow. You touch, keep the tension. No more than about 6 reps. Before weightlifting, it helps a lot. Any type of jerking movement, snatch. You could use even an empty bar. That's very valuable. Again, the goal is to be able to bring your hands slowly. Now retry it. Go up. Now without the trampoline. Now go all the way down. Imagine the trampoline is there. Feel? Very slow. Go down, 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 go down. Perfect. And you stay there. Very good. See, over time, your brain's going to figure out you're getting lower and lower and lower without stretching, because dynamic flexibility or mobility has nothing to do with flexibility. I call it suppleness. When the brain connects with the fascia, then your body movement, that's why Olympic weightlifters, because they go very fast and eccentric, they have tremendous amount of range of motion. They're able to go at bottom and come back up. But if you work with athletes, high speed eccentric is crucial for deceleration in body and space. I have a couple of NHL goalies, some of the top guys, they can't do a facial split. But in the net, yes. And this is what I'm paid for, that they're able to stop the puck, facial split very quickly, because sometime in the gym, people, they look at them, say, look at them, they can't even do the facial split. Put them in with pads and in the net at high speed with skates, they'll do it. And that's where they're going to be able to make a stop. Same thing with CrossFit. Same thing if you have a football player. Dynamic movement under load, it's very important for the sport, because this is where you get injured. In static, there's not a lot of transfer. Don't get me wrong, static stretching is good for recovery, but not to prepare an athlete. I rather, if you have to save time, Olympic weightlifting, overhead squat, snatch for me, one of the best exercise, like a full from the floor, to get the athlete getting ready. When someone is able to do a full snatch, squat snatch we call, then there's not much they can't do in the gym. They're able to use their explosiveness under a good posture. Another aspect, when you use lateral tension, it's very, very good to create a good body awareness, especially at the pelvis. Now I'm going to use it as a partner when I use my athletes, because I'm able to create a bit of perturbation. But if the athlete is alone, you could hook it around a rack and it's going to help him. Now do 5 reps like this, very slowly. Obviously, he's going to be overloaded on the left side and back up. The key is to connect your feet into the ground. That's it. And push very hard with the bar upward. That's it. And back up. That's perfect. That's it. Obviously, the lower I am, the tougher it gets, because the line of force is going to be like this. To start, I rather start at his hip level. As he progresses, I'll go down with him. Now stay there. I'm going to do a couple here. That's it. And go. Again, the athlete should feel, if he does it on his own, that he's controlling it. It's not like he's getting pulled toward me too much. The further away in balance, you want to feel, that's very, very good to strengthen also the small, small muscle around your knees, the hips, and your spine. Again, if I go lower, it becomes a little more tension. Creates a lot more perturbation. Good. Now let it go. Now retest again your overhead squat and let me know if it feels different. Feel any difference?
Yes, I feel better, stable.
Exactly. See, many years ago, I worked with the David Ledbetter Golf Academy. We did a research just for fun with wobble board. We had Dynadisc, and we had like a K-Vest from New Zealand that measures, it's like leads little infrared data on a computer. It measures the rotation. Also, we had force plates. We had Kisber force plate that it measures your foot. Then we had golfers hitting balls off the little Dynadisc or wobble boards and measuring. And then, to our surprise, and we knew it, what was distable, because we thought by doing that, the athlete will feel more stable. He was not. What happened is that when your feet are on their unstable surface, it's your upper body that gets perturbed and has to adapt. When your feet are strong, what I did after, I took a band like this and I had guys swing. I just pulled them laterally and they were swinging. And on the force plate, their feet lit up. It was very interesting. The before and after was tremendous. Their feet stability was a lot better, their biomechanic. Basically, when you're creating perturbation from the hip, even the higher the higher I'm creating a traction lateral, the more the foot has to manage. In this case, if he would be a weightlifter, I would start him at the hip, I would move up a bit until I'm almost under his armpit to do a warm-up. You will need a lot more core. This is a great core exercise. You don't need to use heavy, but it's a great warm-up. Also, like auxiliary type of movement before. I use it, and when he progresses, I will use maybe 2 kilograms more on one side, creating even an offset on the opposite side, or I play on the same side to create more. Again, not more than 1 or 2 kilo, just to create a bit of movement. That's going to help his brain. That's why he said that he felt more balanced. And that's normal because it's like I'm pushing him, and then I stop to push him. Now his brain knows like, wow, this is luxury. Now I'm balanced.